for not putting the truth on his gun application. What do you make of the sweetheart deal, and what did you make of the revelation by Hunter's own attorney that they never asked about the Hunter Biden laptop that we know has crimes on it? Isn't that true?
Yeah. Well, first of
Evidence
all,
of crimes.
It's a double standard. Anyone else in America whose last name isn't Biden or Clinton would have gone to jail, and they would have gone to jail 3 or 4 years ago for what Hunter Biden did. The FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, none of those government agencies have looked into anything with the Bidens. My sources tell me that they were told to stand down at all of these agencies. They hope to run out the statute of limitations, and they hope that the Democrats would retain control of the House of Representatives and the Senate, so this would just go away. They knew they had the media that would get their backs, and they never thought that there would be a scenario where there would be a Republican committee like the House Oversight Committee, which Jim Jordan's on, that would be uncovering all of the fraud that I believe the FBI, many in the IRS, and many of the DOJ knew the Bidens were doing all along.
All right. Now, I think Americans want to know tonight that this sweetheart deal that Biden's DOJ gave his son Hunter that will not have any jail time. I think Americans want to know that you're going to follow every single dime, find out how much money this family did in business with all these foreign countries and entities, how much money they made in profit, and whether or not Joe benefited from it, and whether or not actions were taken, as is suggested in that 1023 form, actions taken by then Vice President Joe Biden in exchange for family money.
Yes, sir. What happened yesterday with the plea deal, that will not affect our investigation one bit. This was in December when we announced the investigation, and is today in June an investigation of Joe Biden. We are following the money. We've already followed many bank accounts, many bank transfers, bank wires that happened from China to the Biden family through the shell companies that were then laundered down to the Biden family members. The same thing happened in Romania. We're starting to get bank records now from Ukraine and Russia. And there are 3 or 4 other countries, you mentioned some earlier, Sean, that we're desperately working to get those bank records, to find those shell accounts. And we're going to expose the Bidens for the schemes that they committed. And we are going to also bring people in very soon that will be under deposition that are going to tell the story of what role Joe Biden played in this. Joe Biden was integrally involved. He was a central figure in the whole Biden family influence peddling schemes. And unfortunately for Joe Biden, the Republican majority in the House will continue to expose the truth and present the facts to the American people and to the media, even though most media outlets aren't reporting it. We're going to continue to expose the truth, and I think that there will be a time very soon when this family will finally be held accountable.
And you believe you already have identified 9 Biden family members that have gotten paid. You have identified numerous shell corporations that didn't have any real business purpose except to funnel money. Do you believe that 1023 form is correct, that Joe Biden took actions in exchange for money, for millions of dollars for him and Hunter? And where is that money? Where did that money go?
I do believe that it's very likely that happened, because what we saw in Romania was consistent with what the oligarch from Ukraine alleged. We saw soon after Joe Biden left Romania with foreign aid, then the family less than 2 weeks later started getting wires from Romanian foreign nationals. And it wasn't just one payment of $1 million. It was several payments that were wired through shell companies. Remember, in the 1023 form that the FBI claimed didn't even exist 3 weeks ago, it said that the oligarch was joking and was proud of the fact that no one would ever find this money because of the way that they laundered the money through various banks. We found the infrastructure where the Bidens were laundering money through shell companies, and I believe that it's consistent with what the oligarch alleged in the FBI form.
Well, I'll say this, both you and Jim Jordan, if it's not for you, we'll never get the truth about the Bidens, because you're not going to get it from Chris Wray, you're not going to get it from his FBI, you're not going to get it from this weaponized DOJ.